Emblem fate.
It's emblem fate.
No, it's emblem fate. Thank you. Say what you want about Trump. He would always spend hours pointing the reporters he called fake news. People hated his tweets. I hated what was in them. Now, dementia Joe Biden is doing the same thing, is hiding, and the media is helping him. It's disgusting. They won't even do a State of the Union. No, I agree. I agree. It's
leading us into the first segment today after the interview. So true, Emblem Fate. By the way, there's 71 people watching on the Rokfin, Rokfin. Get on over. On the YouTubes, we got 333. Get on over. Sign up for free. It's a free account. Watch us over there. It's the Rokfin Revolution. The other night when they were out there in Echo Park, we were trying to encourage people to go over there because YouTube can sometimes cut feeds, shut stuff off. They want to hide their empire ways and not let you see what's really going on. So please do so. But yes, what you just said, Emblem Fate or Emblem Fate, either way you say it, is true because we had this first press conference almost 60-some odd days after Biden gets in office. And it was so disgusting, fam. It was organized. He had a list of questions. He had who to call on. He stumbled throughout the whole goddamn thing. It was just totally disgusting. And once again, you say Donald Trump. You hate him, but what would Donald Trump do? Who are you from? What outlet? Oh, you're fake news. Or who are you? Okay, ask your question. He would at least take it on the chin.
He would have allowed the Convo Couch to ask questions.
He would. No,
we're independent media. Oh, okay.
If the Convo Couch got in the room, we would get a question from Donald Trump. If the Convo Couch got in the room with Joe Biden, we wouldn't get called on. He had his list of people. Yeah. He had his notes. He knew his speaking points, his questions.
We wouldn't even get in the room.
Yeah, we wouldn't even get in the room. Let's be honest. But if somehow we did, they put us. It was funny because one guy kept putting his hands up like. And then he realized he stopped putting his hands up going, wait, they're not going to call on me. They got a list of people they're going to call on with the questions. And it is so disgusting to see the mainstream media aid in the government and the military-industrial complex. They are PR for the imperialistic state. I said this before. I'll say it again. I rather dealt with the 4 years more of Donald Trump and really had the Democratic Party fall down onto its knees for losing again to this person rather than giving these assholes back the power that are just intertwined with the elitist and the deep state or whatever you want to call them, fam. It's pretty disgusting.
I mean, they're both intertwined with the deep state and the elitists, but the Democratic Party has the media, the more liberal media in control, which is there's more of it on national networks, right, on the channels. So they get to just run PR for Biden. So Pasta.
Yes.
Well, the news conference last night was a joke. I hope most people didn't watch it. You probably didn't have to. There are some key things that Biden said that we're going to focus on. And one of the worst things that I heard, one of the things that pisses me off the most is the mentioning of why immigrants were coming here and people from the North Triangle were coming here, right? And Biden's reasoning was absolutely just ridiculous, disgusting, ignorant. I mean, it was just awful and complete and total bullshit because we know we've been talking about it on the show for 3-4 years almost. And this is, it's just like, I was like infuriated hearing that. How can you even say this shit when you are part of the administration that caused what's happening right now?
Yeah, he was part of what happened in Honduras and whatnot. And just so you know, we're going to start this off. We're not doing the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, because I just would lose myself right now and start throwing things. This was gut-wrenching, and my stupid ass put up the wrong video, so I had to actually go back and change it and rewatch some of this stuff. And it was like I punished myself for watching this. This is awful. And if you go to all the YouTube sites that have the speech from different networks, there's so many more thumbs down than there are thumbs up. And I know he's going to say, oh, it's a bunch of Republicans, but Biden actually in this whole thing was actually praising the fact that I got Republican voters, not Congress, but voters who were supporting me. No, they are not. I don't even know Democrats who supported you. So let's start talking this, like you said, fam, the thing that really pissed you off. The Convo Couch talks about this all the time, why there is a migration issue and people are coming here. Let's talk about what Joe Biden said the reason was and what he was doing about one individual who was a young little kid who marched all the way up the desert and to the gates of the United States.
Cecilia Vega.
I'd like to circle back to immigration, please.
You just listed the reasons that people are coming, talking about in-country problems, saying that it happens every year. You blamed the last administration. Sir, I just got back last night from a reporting trip to the border where I met 9-year-old Josel, who walked here from Honduras by himself, along with another little boy. He had that phone number on him, and we were able to call his family. His mother says that she sent her son to this country because she believes that you are not deporting unaccompanied minors like her son. That's why she sent him alone from Honduras. So, sir, you blame the last administration, but is your messaging in saying that these children are and will be allowed to stay in this country and work their way through this process, encouraging families like Josel's to come?
Well, look. The idea that I'm going to say, which I would never do, that if an unaccompanied child ends up at the border, we're just going to let him starve to death and stay on the other side. No previous administration did that either, except Trump. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. That's why I've asked the Vice President of the United States yesterday to be the lead person on dealing with focusing on the fundamental reasons why people leave Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador in the first place. It's because of earthquakes, floods. It's because of lack of food. It's because of gang violence. It's because of a whole range of things that when I was vice president and had the same obligation to deal with unaccompanied children, I was able to get it slowed up significantly by working with the heads of state of those communities to do things like in one of the major cities, the reason people were leaving is they couldn't walk the street because their kids were getting beat up or shot or gang violence. Well, what I was able to do is not give money to the head of state because so many are corrupt, but I was able to say, okay, you need lighting in the streets to change things? I'll put the lighting in. We got a contractor. We got the type of lighting. We paid directly to the contractor, did not go through the government. And violent crime significantly was reduced in that city. Fewer people sought to leave. When this hurricane occurred, the 2 hurricanes, instead of us going down and helping in a major way so that people would not have a reason to want to leave in the first place because they didn't have housing or water or sustenance, we did nothing. We're going to do a lot in our administration. We're going to be spending that $700+ million a year to change the life and circumstances of why people leave in the first place. That mother did not sit around on the kitchen table and say, you know, I got a great idea. Why I'm going to make sure my son gets taken care of is I'm going to put him, how old was he or she?
He's 9. I also met a 10-year-old.
A 9-year-old. I'm going to send him on a 1,000-mile journey across the desert and up to the United States because I know Joe Biden's a nice guy and he'll take care of him. What a desperate act to have to take. The circumstances must be horrible. So we can do something about that. That's what the vice president's going to be doing. What I did when President Obama asked me to come and deal. I was in Turkey at the time. He said, you got to come home and take care of this. So we put together a plan and it had an impact. And so the question here is how we go ahead and do this, what we do. There's no easy answer.
Quick follow, if I may. Do you want to see these unaccompanied minors staying in this country, or should they be deported eventually?
Well, the judgment has to be made whether or not, in this young man's case, he has a mom at home. There's an overwhelming reason why he'd be put in a plane and flown back to his mom.
All right.
Disgustingness all over there, very cryptic. Once again, it's the nice thing. Instead of, that's why I don't mind it when, well, I'm not saying I don't mind it, but at least it's honest the way he was feeling when Donald Trump says they're coming from these shithole countries. Well, Joe Biden is almost saying the same thing, except he's just being nice and putting the rainbows and the flowers on it and stuff. Well, it's hurricanes and earthquakes which cause people to come, and I'm not going to give the government money. I'm going to go put the lighting in myself, so that's going to stop. Like, street lights are going to stop people from coming up here, and you're saying you're not giving that money to that government when you do certain things, but you still give money to that government, and that's a government that's propped up by the United States corporations to have resource extraction from the North Triangles, turning that country into hell, and that is why they are coming here. And you, my friend, Uncle Joe Biden, were part of that problem. And then finally saying that we're going to put this kid on a plane and send them back shows that they're going to deport more people than this last guy, Donald Trump, just like the Obama administration deported more people than Donald Trump, fam.
First of all, him saying that it's due to earthquakes and floods is just the equivalent of Trump saying that the fires were due to not like raking leaves. It is just as bad, if not worse. It's worse. Absolutely ridiculous. It like they're both doing this, enacting the same policies. It's just Joe Biden is putting different words in. And I gotta say, what pissed me off the fucking most is that he said that, because the reason people are coming in is because we destroyed their freaking countries. We bombed their fucking countries in the Middle East and in the global South. When he's talking about Honduras, we literally pushed regime change under the Obama administration through Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, where she went in there and removed democratically elected leader Manuel Zelaya and put in their puppet, okay, and literally just destroyed a country that was actually doing well. They were actually a socialist country. They had social safety nets. They had health care, which we don't even have here in fucking America. They had, they were supporting, they were increasing education, increasing jobs. People were so fucking like happy. And literally they named Hillary Clinton. When we went to the caravan, we interviewed people. This man named Hillary Clinton. He couldn't, he was like, esa mujer, esa la señora. And then I was like, Hillary Clinton. He's like, sí, esa misma. He's like, that one. She came and she fucking did that in the Obama administration that Joe Biden was a part of. So you don't get to fucking blame floods and earthquakes and all this bullshit that you're saying. No, it was our fucking foreign policy that did that. That's why these people are coming in, because we destroy their countries, we take their resources, we put in our puppets, and then we complain and say that socialism did it. No, you fucking did it. America's imperialism did it. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of these people. And then, of course, the right goes, oh, these immigrants are coming in, taking my jobs. No, these corporations are taking your jobs. People like Joe Biden through fucking NAFTA and TPP.
Yeah. It's funny when
outsourcing your fucking jobs. That's what they're doing. That's who's taking your fucking jobs. Yeah. Like, stop blaming the immigrants. Jesus Christ. Well, and then Joe Biden gets on there acting like, oh, he's a good guy. I'm going to send this kid back to his mom. You're sending this kid back to a fucking war-torn country. Because of what we caused years ago, and you're praising yourself as a nice guy, patting yourself on the back, and the mainstream media isn't calling him out because they're all a bunch of cucks who just do the bidding of the empire, and that's all they are.
Absolutely.
And I'm so fucking sick and tired of it.
We need to clip that out. Somebody get that going on, because that was great, fam. I mean, totally. You guys have experienced this. You went down to the border. I got my passport. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I'm going to take my Spanish lessons, make sure I can speak a little bit, and let's go down there. But really, seriously, I mean, not only are they doing it now, they've been doing this for a long time. The whole banana thing I talked about in the late 50s, the coup against the government there, which was a socialist government, that they removed him so the UFC can go in there and steal their natural resources. That banana was being able to use to nationalize the people for education, medicine, the whole 9 yards, infrastructure, and we took it away from them so individuals in corporations can make millions and millions of dollars. And it was so interesting when I talked to Eagle Ed Martin, we had the video, go back and watch it, and I presented that. He goes, it's kind of funny. I've never heard a lot of people present that. That's the reason why migration is coming, because a lot of people just say, let's deal with the problem when they get here. Let's build a wall. Let's stop it. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. They look at the bad parts, the guns going back and forth, Suarez, but they don't realize why this 9-year-old child has come up here. It's because, once again, in El Salvador, right? We have a deal with the military over there with that coup, pretty much, and we have one of the biggest bases in El Salvador in the North Triangle, and we have an Israeli weapons deal going over there so they can be prisoners in their own country so they don't come up here.
An Israeli weapons deal in Central America.
Yeah. And it's totally disgusting. People have to realize that this is our foreign policy that is a big factor, if not the biggest factor, in why we have a migration problem. If you guys are all there and we have to take care of Americans, and, you always blame the immigrants.
First of all, we're not taking care of Americans. They're homeless. We just got done talking about that.
Exactly.
Like, you're not taking care of Americans.
A lot of
Your
veterans,
government
too.
isn't taking care of veterans or Americans. None of these people, whether they're Republican or Democrat, are doing anything. They're doing it themselves through mutual aid. And when they don't then they try to do that, they're also pushed aside and said, no, you can't do that either.
Yeah.
We want you to basically be in a building where you have no rights, or we want you to be pushed into Skid Row where it's just it's just like that's where all the homeless people go, and we don't care if it's dirty, nasty, drug ridden or crime ridden. They don't care. They just want them out of sight. So you're not helping your veterans. You're not helping Americans. Americans have gotten nothing. They've gotten a freaking cent and change, and this is still happening. So Americans aren't getting shit. Immigrants are getting screwed. Everybody's getting screwed. The only people that are not screwed are the people who have their money invested in the war and defense industry, the people who have money invested in big pharma, the people who have money invested in Wall Street, the 1% of the 1%. So the sooner you all stop with your bullshit, whether you're on the Democrat or Republican Party, you should leave both fucking parties, number one. And number two, you should stop blaming other people who have nothing to do with your situation.
Yep, yeah. Well, fam, it's, when it's 750,000 homeless people on the street, and that's a low number, like, once again, a ballpark number of sorts and stuff like that. There's other groups, advocacy groups out there that say it's over 1 million, and it's definitely going to be over 1 million no matter what on the low end after this pandemic and stuff. So when you have that many homeless people, it's not about the Republican mentality of like, well, these people just need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and stop being so poor, stop doing drugs, make something of themselves. When you have this big of a problem, it's a systemic problem, and we have to take it on. And I tell Republican people all the time, Republican, conservatives who are like, no, it's about individual responsibility. Well, there's a lot of homeless vets out there, a lot, that have come back from fighting these wars, not for democracy, but for imperialism, for corporations, and they have PTSD. 22 of them take their lives every single day. What about them then? What's going to get your mind to say, hey, listen, maybe if we stop messing around in these countries with our corporate resource extraction practices of imperialism, then maybe so many people won't even come to begin in the first place. Think about that. So here's Joe Biden. Look at those whitey eyes, fam. I don't know what they're giving him, but maybe we need to take some of that vitamin C. Look at that. He looks like that's a condor with a beak. Go ahead.
Follow, sir. You mentioned circumstances that must be horrific. The Customs and Border Protection Facility in Donna, Texas, I was there, is at 1,556% capacity right now with mostly unaccompanied minors. There are kids that are sleeping on floors. They are packed into these pods. I've spoken to lawyers who say that some of these children have not seen the sun in days. What's your reaction? What is your reaction to these images that have come out from that particular facility? Is what's happening inside acceptable to you? And when is this going to be fixed?
Watch this answer.
That's a serious question, right? Is it acceptable to me? Come on. That's why we're going to be moving 1,000 of those kids out quickly. That's why I got Fort Bliss opened up. That's why I've been working from the moment this started to happen to try to find additional access for children to be able to safely, not just children, but particularly children, to be able to safely be housed while we follow through on the rest of what's happening. That is totally unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable, fam. Once again, playing the part like, no, I'm the guy here to solve problems. I'm problem-solving Joe. It is totally unacceptable. Then why is it fucking happening?
Yeah.
You used it to criticize your predecessor left and right about the problems and whatnot. And he was also dealing with problems from your administration with your freaking Monroe Doctrine mentality of these kids coming up. Like fam talked about, Manuel Zelaya removed from his country in pajamas in the middle of the night.
It's disgusting. He gets to preach as if he's doing anything different. He's not. They're fucking still in the same cages. You can call them info facilities. You can throw in their, rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. It is still the same thing, the same problem. And now you're pretending that you're solving it. And you're tricking some of these people who are idiotically voted for you just because of that, because they thought like, hey, maybe at least he'll be better for my immigrant community or my immigrant family. No, he won't. He won't. He hasn't been at all. And it's ridiculous to say that it's any different. It's the same shit, different word salad. more decorative and platitudey, but that's all it is. It's just there's nothing of substance that is coming out for these people, and the worst part is the media isn't talking about that it's still happening. So a lot of these brainwashed people that watch mainstream media, they think Joe Biden is making a difference in immigrant lives. Why? Because they tout around like they are when they're doing absolutely nothing. And I hope most Latino people start realizing, stop letting them fucking tokenize you. Stop letting them use your identity.
You ain't mitigating shit.
And your immigrant identity to get votes and support for a fucking party that's done nothing for us except literally destroyed all of Latin America and restricted their resources and overthrown democratically elected leaders. And they're going to continue doing that because the United States is an empire that needs to feed its ravenous, freaking greedy warmongers at the very top. And that's what it is. And if you don't like it, oh well, that's the fucking truth. That's what it is. Period. That's what we are. We are an empire full of corporations. We are not a democracy. We are not a republic. We don't even abide by the Constitution of the United States. We have been denying people First Amendment rights, and now they're threatening your Second Amendment right. And the cops aren't going to help you. The immigrants aren't your problem. Your neighbor who thinks differently than you is not your problem. The problem are the people at the very top, and you need to start realizing that quickly.
Yep. And it's disgusting the way the media just goes along with it and stuff. They set up these questions to really dupe the public.
They
and
just
really
give it to them. Like,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, and you know what I'm saying? They kind of present the question as Donald Trump was the problem, the last administration. It's Republicans that are the problem. It's not. No, not these guys. This is nice guy Joe is the reason why they're coming up with now. Oh, no, Joe Biden's there, and now we have to go because he's a nice president. And that's why Fam, they elected me to solve problems. That's a much malarkey. Is that a trick question? But what creates migrants? War. Yep. War-torn countries. And like we said, we said right off the bat, the reason why Joe Biden will be worse in the areas he will be worse than Donald Trump, big tech, right? 16 mil given to Joe Biden, less than $1 million given to Donald Trump. We also said the military-industrial complex, Joe Biden's just going to hand them the keys and let them do what they want. You best believe they ain't pulling out of Afghanistan. Here's Joe with his cryptic bullshit talking about Afghanistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you about Afghanistan. You face a May 1st deadline for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from that country. As a candidate in foreign affairs, you wrote that it is past time to end these forever wars. Can you commit to the American people that by May 2nd, the U.S. will no longer have forces in Afghanistan?
The answer is that it's going to be hard to meet the May 1 deadline. Just in terms of tactical reasons, it's hard to get those troops out. So what we've been doing, what I've been doing, and what Secretary Blinken has been doing, we've been meeting with our allies, those other nations that have NATO allies who have troops in Afghanistan as well. And if we leave, we're going to do so in a safe and orderly way. We're in consultation, I say, with our allies and partners and how to proceed. And Secretary Blinken is meeting in Brussels this week with our NATO allies, particularly those who have forces there. And General Austin is just met with Kayani, and I'm waiting for the briefing on that. He is the leader, quote, in Afghanistan and Kabul. And there's a UN-led process that's beginning shortly on how to mechanically get people, how to end this war. But it is not my intention to stay there for a long time. But the question is, how and in what circumstances do we meet that agreement that was made by President Trump to leave under a deal that looks like it's not being able to be worked out to begin with? How's that done? But we are not staying a long time.
You just said if we leave. Do you think it's possible that
we will leave? The question is when we leave.
Do you believe, though, it's possible we could have troops there next year?
I can't picture that being the case.
Fam, there you have it again. we got to leave in a safe manner.
Yeah.
We got to.
Yeah.
It's always about protecting the troops. Leaving them there is they're in safety, right?
Yeah.
They're dying all the time. They're having to do disgusting things, which when they come back, they get PTSD and kill themselves and stuff like that. But we got to leave safely. Yeah. And here it is again, blaming Donald Trump. The deal wasn't good enough, whatnot, and we're gonna do. We're gonna leave, but it's when we're gonna leave. Well, it's been 21 fucking years.
Donald Trump was closer to leaving Afghanistan than Joe Biden. That is your legacy, Democrats. That is your legacy. That Donald Trump, the worst president, according to Democrats in modern history, that Donald Trump, the sexist, racist, misogynistic, Hitler, all these things that they called him. He was closer to leaving Afghanistan than freaking Joe Biden. And Joe Biden ran on this. He ran on saying, we're going to get out of Afghanistan. I promise you by May 1st. No. Oh, no, we can't just leave.
They got to be safe, fam.
We have to make sure everything's good. This is the same excuse we heard from Obama. It's the same exact excuse. I remember this has been happening for fucking decades. You're not going to tell me that this is any different or give another excuse. How dare you, some of you neo-progressives that only cover now Republicans coming and saying stupid things, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, or all the bullshit that you cover. Like, how are you going to tell me that this is mitigating damage? How are you going to tell me that continuing an Afghan war that is older than some of the people that were born, like come on,
that are fighting there,
go in there? Yeah,
there's 18-year-olds that
they weren't even born when we were already at war with Afghanistan. This is fucking ridiculous. There is zero reason for us to be there. Yeah. Zero. And fuck NATO. Stop talking about NATO.
Our allies, our NATO our allies.
Come on, we know what NATO means. NATO means the Western interests of the empire. That's what it is. Who are non-NATO? Oh, Russia, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, Cuba. Oh, the countries that refuse to let the boot of the United States empire come in. That's the reality. And let's call it what it is. Fine.
That's funny. We talked about the cops and how much each one of those helicopters costs. Our guest talked about how much it costs, how much money of the budget, half of it is spent to harass homeless people.
Yep.
We did a story not too long ago when we pulled it on out, right? How much these bombs cost and everything like that. We got all these problems, but we can hear this bullshit malarkey shit that we're not going to pull out of Afghanistan. Nope. We got to do it safely, rah, 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 all bullshit. When Donald Trump was better on foreign policy, and his foreign policy sucked too as well, Donald Trump.
It was a low bar.
But Biden, but that's the second reason, fam. It's big tech. And now our military-industrial complex, Joe Biden gets in, they get handed the keys. Let's talk about something else that you experienced last night, freedom of the press. As we know, some of these facilities are not allowed to be visited by the press to go in there. So here we go again. Let's listen to what Joe has to say.
Mr. President, given the conditions that were just laid out at the migrant facilities at the U.S. border, will you commit to allowing journalists to have access to the facilities that are overcrowded moving forward?
I will commit, when my plan very shortly is underway, to let you have access to not just them, but to other facilities as well.
How soon will journalists be able to have access to the facilities? We've obviously been allowed to be inside one, but we haven't seen the facilities in which children are packed together to really give the American people a chance to see that. Will you commit to transparency on this issue?
I will commit to transparency, and as soon as I am in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now. And one of the reasons I haven't gone down, all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be, bringing all the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way. So this is being set up, and you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Okay, just to be clear, how soon will that be, Mr. President?
I don't know, to be clear.
Fam, listen, you can't get in until we're ready to let you in. Until we clean up the problem of the American people, you're shut out. You're shut out.
No, till they make it look good, till they come in and use one facility as a PR front to make, oh, look, these kids have beds and they have,
Yeah.
supplies, and they're happy kids. Like, look at them, they're happy. They're in a prison, but hey, no, like, there's colorful pillows here. There's a toy over there. That's what they want. They want to make sure that what they show the media is PR approved.
Exactly.
So people are like, oh, look at what Joe Biden's done with these facilities. He's made them all colorful and beautiful. And no, these aren't cages that were happening under Trump. No. This is better treatment. Yay. So now we have golden cages instead of, iron cages. They're still cages, people. That's why they're not showing you, because it's disgusting what they're doing and they don't want you to see. And they're definitely not going to allow any media to see that at all. And if they do allow it, it'll be the mainstream media with a certain narrative that they're going to spin so everybody can say, good job, Joe. Good job, Joe. Good job, Joe. You're doing so much better than
mitigating damage.
Trump.
You're right.
Congratulations.
And fam, if I tell you right now in this next statement that Trump makes, I almost gave the answer out. If Biden makes no apologies, who's he going to blame? Trump.
Responsibility for everything that's happening at the border now. I hear you talking a lot about the past administration. You decided to roll back some of those policies. Did you move too quickly to
roll back what? I'm sorry?
Policies. Did you move too quickly to roll back some of the executive orders of your predecessor?
First of all the policies that are underway were not helping at all. Did not slow up the amount of immigration and as many people coming. And rolling back the policies of separating children from their mothers, I make no apology for that. Rolling back the policies of remain in Mexico, sitting on the edge of the Rio Grande in a muddy circumstance with not enough to eat, I make no apologies for that. I make no apologies for ending programs that did not exist before Trump became president, that have an incredibly negative impact on the law, international law, as well as on human dignity. And so I make no apologies for that.
I just ask you about foreign policy.
Fam, I just really quickly, I wanted to say he found a way to make it about Donald Trump. Oh, the exasperation that's going on. No, I make no apologies about that. It was Trump's fault.
Well, the journalist is asking, the PR firm person is asking, hey, didn't you roll back too quickly on these policies? Like, I mean, didn't you just improve this too quickly? Shouldn't you have just held back? I mean, what kind of question is that? What did he roll back on, really, essentially?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't done anything for these people.
Nothing.
Nothing. Stop giving him this credit.
Yeah.
No, but they're not going to stop, because that's why they're there. They're there to make sure that Biden looks better than Trump. And it's ironic because he's contradicting himself here. He's saying, well, nothing has really been, changed. People are still coming. People are still coming here. So he's literally saying, oh, people are still coming here. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's no logic in his arguments, because it's all just PR answers that don't make any sense, that appeal to emotions so people can feel better about having voted for Joe Biden. But guess what? You should feel like shit if you voted for Joe Biden, because I'm not a vote shamer normally, but this is ridiculous, because these people were patting themselves on the back like some sort of white saviors.
They were celebrating after.
Some sort of mitigating damage. Oh my God, let me just have this one day, Fiorella. Why are you bitching, Fiorella? Why are you so angry, Fiorella?
We got rid of a fascist, Fiorella.
Give us a weekend, Fiorella. Okay, I was just trying to celebrate a little bit. We got rid of this one orange fascist.
Yeah.
Allow me a weekend to celebrate. What are you celebrating? I want to know. I want to know exactly what you're celebrating, how your life has improved. Okay, and how the lives of these people who are still in cages, who are being deported, still the same, have improved. In fact, Joe Biden has deported more people in his first term, in his first month and a half, than Donald Trump did. So if you don't like the facts, those are the facts.
He's going to send you the 9-year-old kid. He's going to send you back home. The kid who went hiking all the way through the desert and all this stuff just to get here, because the situation back in his home country is disgusting because of your actions too as well. You're part of the whole situation. Joe, you're going to send them back. A cryptic way of saying it. And now this part right over here is very important, fam, too, as well, because they're telling you in advance what they're going to do. The same thing that Obama did is they're going to sit down. They say they're not going to sit down with Kim Jong-un or North Korea unless they have a preconceived notion or agreements. That's not how you sit down at a table. You sit down at a table no matter what, and you reach an agreement. but they're very cryptic when they say these things. And watch what Joe does over here.
Policy, Mr. President, overnight we learned that North Korea tested 2 ballistic missiles. What, if any, actions will you take, and what is your red line on North Korea?
Let me say that, number one, UN Resolution 1718 was violated by those particular missiles that were tested, number one. We're consulting with our allies and partners, and there will be responses if they choose to escalate. We will respond accordingly. But I'm also prepared for some form of diplomacy, but it has to be conditioned upon the end result of denuclearization. So that's what we're doing right now, consulting with our allies.
Just very quick follow-up.
You only got another hour now, okay?
Diplomacy, can you define what you mean? And former President Obama warned the incoming President Trump that North Korea was the top foreign policy issue that he was watching. Is that how you assess the crisis in North Korea?
Yes.
First of all, that was so hard to watch. Him reading off the paper the whole
He's
time.
literally reading off the paper, guys.
The go-to lines. We got to consult with our friends and allies.
Make
What the hell
sure
does
you
that
agree
mean?
with Obama, your best friend.
We're not going to sit down with them unless they have conditions met before we sit down with them.
Right.
So that's just going to be an excuse to not sit down with at the table. This is the biggest issue there is out there. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's just to distract you from the other fucking bad foreign policy decisions they're going to make. Yada, yada, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Disgusting.
Yep.
And just him reading off the paper, too, was just so... It was hard. It looked like he was going to have a moment there. He was breathing heavy, whatnot. I mean...
Yeah.
Disgusting. So, fam, we talked about the 2 areas. I said it was big tech and foreign policy are the top 2 areas in which why Biden would be worse than Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Why Biden would be worse than Donald Trump. And the third area
You sound like Joe Biden.
but the third area is the whole voting situation because once again, they have weaponized identity to fight, to act like they are fighting for voting rights, voting issues, when they're not. They're really not even addressing the serious issues when it comes to our voting situations, and they keep hitting this back, and the media is just, once again, it's like that volleyball player who lays it up softly so that Joe Biden can spike down his bullshit hypocrisy. Here we are, voting rights. Let's listen to it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to go back to voting rights. And as Yamiche mentioned, Republican legislatures across the country are working to pass bills that would restrict voting, particularly Democrats fear impacting minority voters and young voters, the very people who helped to get you elected in November. Are you worried that if you don't manage to pass voting rights legislation, that your party is going to lose seats and possibly lose control of the House and the Senate in 2022?
What I'm worried about is how un-American this whole initiative is. It's sick. It's sick. Deciding in some states that you cannot bring water to people standing in line, waiting to vote. Deciding that you're going to end voting at 5 o'clock when working people are just getting off work. Deciding that there will be no absentee ballots under the most rigid circumstances. It's all designed, and I'm going to spend my time doing 3 things. 1, trying to figure out how to pass the legislation passed by the House, number 1. Number 2, educating the American public. The Republican voters I know find this despicable. Republican voters. The folks outside this White House. I'm not talking about the elected officials. I'm talking about voters. Voters. And so I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. I mean, this is gigantic, what they're trying to do. And it cannot be sustained. And do everything in my power, along with my friends in the House and the Senate, to keep that from becoming the law.
Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle? Oh my God. Is this real life? Is this the fucking dimension I'm living in? Oh my God. Jeez.
He further goes on. They ask him, what are you going to do to fight it? Johnny, we don't have to play that part. We can skip to the next my predecessor thing. But, I mean, I just want to say, number one, it's disgusting the way they're weaponizing racism to keep these elections non-transparent. They're not addressing the serious issues. They're cherry-picking certain things. H.R. 1 has some disgusting things in it.
H.R. 1 is not a good bill.
It's not a good bill, and he even said that he's going to work to pass H.R. 1. Yeah. So what does he do? He weaponizes the race issues within America where we've had suppression of voting, and it happens as well.
We should absolutely deal with that. Yeah. But we can't ignore the actual corruption and non-transparent election system we have either. Yeah. So you got to do both, but they're not going to do both. They're only going to weaponize and tokenize one in order to get people of color on their side. And they're not going to solve and make this at all any more democratic. Yes, I think it's wrong to have laws out there that ban water or pizzas being delivered to people who are waiting in long lines. But I also think we shouldn't have long lines.
Exactly.
How about that? Exactly. How about we focus on not having long lines, guys? Come on. Yeah.
I mean, really, to tell you the truth, the thing that Melissa Michelson sent me the other day was I've read it before. I've actually added to it. It's like the 9 kind of changes we need to fix our elections, and there are some out there. But the main things are getting rid of major corporations that control our tabulation machines that are completely proprietary, which we cannot look at and not have an open source system. Not having proper audits, making sure that these elections are very mellifluous. When you go to vote, it should be quick, easy, painless. I mean, what's his name? Clinton Curtis told us he wanted to interject a policy that said that if you wait longer than an hour, for every hour you wait longer than an hour, the county has to pay you $100. That will clean up shit quickly, because the Democrats also break the election system when it comes to the primary, and they're actually racist themselves. They move people of color into provisional ballots all the time, but when the general comes around, they look to fix that and do whatever, and they sit there and they act like they're the champion of the people, of the minorities who are trying to vote, whatnot. Listen, we have to do what we can do to make voting access and accessible for everybody, but we have to have integrity, and we have to have a chain of custody. It's very important. We have to have transparency. The way these elections are run, and the Democrats facilitate this shit as well, is very disgusting, and they're trying to hide behind the situation, saying that Republicans are the racist people who don't want people to vote, when there are a lot of Republicans in this country, fam. They just want a transparent, free system and make sure that it's
I think the
audible.
People do, but some of the people in power do not want people to vote. Yeah.
Of course not. I mean, but that was something we talked about too. Why did Donald Trump get more people of color to vote for him than any Republican since the 1960s? Because a lot of people out there, whatever race, religion, or creed they are, know that the Democratic Party is full of shit. And what support does Joe Biden have from Republican voters? None. He doesn't have support from Democrat voters. The Lincoln Project,
that's what he's talking about.
Get the fuck out of here, you
Well, he has support from the establishment.
That's it.
That is, there are people that are pretty much Republicans who do support that mindset, but it's mostly people in the establishment, not necessarily the vast majority of voters.
We got to go to my predecessor part, because he goes and he takes a shot, 33-14. He takes a shot at Donald Trump while also mentioning fam. He makes some big news. So that's the 3 areas, by the way: big tech, military-industrial complex, elections. The Democrats are awful in elections too. Don't kid yourself. They're terrible in the primary. And I hate when people say, well, he only cheated in the primaries, not the general. Well, if you cheat a primary, by default, you automatically cheat the general. Bottom line. Once again, a shot at Trump coming up, and also the plan to run again.
Then, on a related note, have you decided whether you are going to run for re-election in 2024? You haven't set up a re-election campaign yet, as your predecessor had by this time.
My predecessor needed to. My predecessor. Oh, God, I miss it.
Have you?
No, the answer is yes. My plan is to run for re-election. That's my expectation.
And then
okay. So Kamala is upset now. She broke down.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
But he's just laughing at Trump. Darling, everybody's laughing at you. Yeah. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's just.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we should skip the next 2 with the bipartisan Mitch and the filibuster, because we're running pretty long here. You want to do it, or? No, I was going to say, let's go to 36-18 and just talk about, because it's a little bit more about why he said he'll run again. Just to let you know, guys, they talked a lot about the filibuster. made bullshit statements around that.
Yeah,
It gets really
they're not
boring.
going to do it. They're not going to do it. They were never going to do it.
Yeah.
The focus on the filibuster is stupid because it's just an excuse.
Do what?
To eliminate it.
Oh, they were trying to eliminate the filibuster?
Well, a lot of leftists want it gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They say they want it gone because it's a tactic in which the minority can use it to hold things up and not get votes passed.
Yeah, that's
Bernie's filibustered before, right?
Yeah, he's filibustered before and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, really, to tell you the truth, once again, what is voting for? When the majority of the people want something to go, should the minority of the people find a way to stop it?
You shouldn't have the filibuster, but the point is that they're using that as an excuse to not get it to continue to say, oh, we can't do this because they're just going to filibuster.
60 votes, and stuff.
So it's a dead-ended argument. You should focus on just fucking doing the things you need to do regardless of it. Stop using it as an excuse is my point.
Yeah. So, the first time I did Crosstalk, fam, I did it about polling data, about pollsters, and I said it's bullshit what pollsters do. So here's a little bit. We're going to continue on the whole thing about him running again, and look at what he says as far as Joe Biden uniting the country, fam.
You also just made some news by saying that you are going to run for re-election.
I said that is my expectation.
So is that a yes, that you are running for re-election?
Look, I don't know where you guys come from, man. I've never been able to travel. I'm a great respecter of fate. I've never been able to plan 3.5 years ahead for certain.
And if you do run, will Vice President Harris be on your ticket?
I would fully expect that to be the case. She's doing a great job. She's a great partner. She's a great partner.
And do you believe you'll be running against former President Trump?
Oh, come on. I don't even think about it. I have no idea. I have no idea whether there'll be a Republican Party. Do you? I know you don't have to answer my question, but I mean, do you? I mean, look, this is the way I view things. I become a great respecter of fate in my life. I set a goal of that's in front of me to get things done for the people I care most about, which are hard-working, decent American people who really having it stuck to them. I want to change the paradigm. We start to reward work, not just wealth. I want to change the paradigm. If you notice, didn't you find it kind of interesting that my Republican friends were worried about that the cost and the taxes that had to be had, if there is any tax to be had, as they talk about it, in dealing with the act that we just passed, which puts money in people's pockets, ordinary people? Do you hear them complain when they passed close to $2 trillion Trump tax cut, 83% going to the top 1%? Do you hear them talk about that at all? I love the fact that they found this whole idea of concern about the federal budget. It's kind of amazing. When the federal budget is saving people's lives, they don't think it's such a good idea. When the federal budget is feathering the nest of the wealthiest Americans, 90 of the Fortune 500 companies making billions of dollars, not paying a cent in taxes, reducing taxes to the point that people who are making, if you're a husband and wife, a school teacher, and a cop, you're paying at a higher rate than the average person making $1 billion a year is. Something's wrong. Their newfound concern. I'm concerned. Look, I meant what I said when I ran, and a lot of you still think I'm wrong, and I respect that. I said I'm running for 3 reasons: to restore the soul, dignity, honor, honesty, transparency to the American political system.
Oh my God, I'm tired.
2, to rebuild the backbone of this country, the middle class, hardworking people and people struggling to get in the middle class. They built America, and unions built them. The 3rd reason I said I was running was to unite the country. And generically speaking, all of you said, no, you can't do that. Well, I've not been able to unite the Congress, but I've been uniting the country based on the polling data.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Let's just end it on this shit, but what the hell is this guy uniting? Does everybody see this guy uniting the country according to the polling data? And I think he has the same speechwriter as Buttigieg. Remember when I asked Buttigieg about the soul? Exactly.
Nation.
That's what Buttigieg told us. I'm here to restore the integrity and the soul of the country. I mean, Buttigieg said almost the same exact thing. The whole bunch of malarkey. They say a lot, but they really ain't saying shit.
If anybody says that to my face in person, I will slap you. I am sorry, I will slap you.
With a giant mackerel.
No, with my little tiny hand. But yeah, like I will slap you. Like this is what does that mean? Nobody can answer that question. What are you restoring? Is restoring the soul of the nation include going from $2,000 to $1,400? Does it go from going $600 in unemployment to $300? Does that include completely backing off of anything remotely close to Medicare for all? Does it include completely backing off from what you ran on regarding student debt relief? Does it include staying in Afghanistan? Does it include bombing Syria? Does it include literally doing absolutely nothing for the average American at all? I guess that if that is restoring the soul of the nation, then yes, of course you've achieved it. Like, because if that's your definition, because he hasn't done shit and he still has these kids in cages. I'm sure that restoring the soul of the nation includes just making them nicer cages or calling them influx facilities instead. I mean, this is just fucking like what restoration have you done? He's restoring the pockets of the same billionaires he's attacking that the Republicans do. Of course they do. Yeah. But you say you don't and you still do. You're taking that nice Wall Street money, that nice defense industry money. Absolutely. You're doing the same exact thing. And we can check it via your record. Fam. You talk about the average American that's been getting thrown all these things at them. Yeah, what have you done about it, Joe? What has your administration done about it? Yeah. No, you're not just cleaning up what Donald Trump did. I could say that Donald Trump's cleaning up what Obama did and so on and so forth. No, you're continuing the same process because you are a puppet. You are a front for the actual people that manipulate things behind the scenes, and that's the reality. That is the reality.
And 47 years you haven't helped the fucking poor people. You've been helping the oligarchs. You got more Wall Street money than Donald Trump did. Just like his predecessor and Obama and stuff. You're a Wall Street military industrial, big energy, big oil puppet, as we like to say.